Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
I am Patrick, son of Joseph of Helena. And this is Pat Gray Unleashed, sponsored by ExpressVPN. Your data is your business. It's your business. Don't let it be other people's. Protect it at expressvpn.com/unleashed. Welcome. Halfway through the week already. Jeffy will be joining us, I assume, in 30 minutes or so.
Looks that way.
Chewing the fat. And of course, we've got so much great stuff for you today that we won't be able to. We have piles, stacks, and stacks of leftovers every single day.
Yeah, in fact, you can't see it on camera, but we keep half the show prep in the back.
In like a warehouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have to ask for that show prep by name, and then we go and we fetch it.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't. There's just not enough room on the shelves to keep it all out here.
So how's your sheltering in place quarantine situation going so far? Anybody else ready for this to stop? Get back to business as usual? Taking the time out, though, to watch some old football games just to kind of fill the void. You been doing any of that?
I'm trying. The funny thing is, I've mostly been recording it to get to it when I have time. Don't judge me. So we'll see. Yeah. Oh, you know what? And actually, I want to thank, there's a Pat head yesterday. You didn't like my suggestion. MLB TV was playing old Greg Maddux classics, and you didn't seem interested in all. And I thought it was a great point by Matthew Blackburn, who listens to the program, who says, maybe I should suggest to you we watch a Dale Murphy marathon. Would you be interested in that?
Maybe.
Yeah, the greatest Atlanta Brave of all time.
Right.
No, I've got a lot of stuff just recorded. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, if I'm not going to get to it now. But what game did you watch yesterday?
I watched the Holy War, BYU, Utah, the Godless Animals, the game in 1989 when it was 49-0 at the half in favor of the Cougars, of course. 49-0 at the half. And then they put on all their scrubs in the second half and wound up winning 70-31. Just a lot of fun. And it featured somebody whose name you might recognize, and he's on Fox News right now, Jason Chaffetz, BYU kicker at the time.
Was he
Jason
really?
Chaffetz, yeah.
I had no idea.
He set all kinds of records for extra points in a row made and all, extra points made in a season, all that kind of stuff.
Would he never go to the NFL?
No.
Why not?
Not that I'm aware of.
Wow. That's a fun fact right there.
Yeah. I had forgotten that Chaffetz played for the Cougars, but he was a pretty good kicker.
Let's see. Yeah, did he do any? I'm just going to make sure that he didn't try out for a team or play in Canada for a year or something.
I don't think he did.
Huh.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
All right. Here's an amazing announcement from Barack Obama yesterday. This is going to stun you and probably send tingles all the way through your body. He's endorsing somebody for president now.
No.
Yeah, look.
The kind of leadership that's guided by knowledge and experience, honesty and humility, empathy and grace.
Great.
That kind of leadership doesn't just belong in our state capitals and mayor's offices. It belongs in the White House.
White House.
And that's why I'm so proud
Here we go.
to endorse Joe Biden
Oh,
for President of the United States. Choosing Joe to be my vice president was one of the best decisions I ever made.
All right.
And he became a close friend. And I
he
believe
did?
Joe has all the qualities we need in a president right now.
Okay, that's enough. I think
He's
we get the
someone
idea. I can't even stand to
You
listen to his
don't want
voice.
any more, huh? Where he talks about how he's
we'll get to that in a second. Yeah,
Okay.
but how pissed must Joe Biden be? He must be so pissed. He specifically asked him not to endorse.
Right?
He specifically asked him.
And Barack didn't listen. Doesn't care. He's like, no, I'm doing it. I'm going to get out in front of everybody else with my endorsement for you, Joe.
I mean, did he forget this?
Why didn't President Obama endorse?
I asked President Obama not to endorse.
Okay, so there you go. He asked him not to, and he specifically went against his wishes.
You know what I bet that was? I bet that was a phone call where Joe called him up, and finally, after trying for weeks, going through secretaries and leaving messages, he finally gets Barack on the phone, and they have this conversation, and Barack probably said, look, Joe, I'm not going to get involved at this point. And I bet Joe hung up the phone and said, fine, I don't want your endorsement anyway, and hung up the phone, and that's probably him telling him, I don't want it. God, that's pathetic, man. Here we are.
Biden's like, dude, What is it about not endorsing me that you didn't understand?
Get it through your head, man.
I really love the heartfelt plea from Barack. He feels so strongly about Joe, his close friend. He felt so strongly that he waited until there was no one else.
Literally
nobody else to endorse. What a powerful endorsement that is now.
I mean, who were we going after last week? A couple weeks ago, was it John? Who was it that finally came out and supported him? And at least Bernie was still in it at that point.
Yeah.
Obama waits until
even Bernie's gone. Yeah.
So funny.
How does that even help now? Because what was he going to do? Endorse Trump? No, it's his only choice. But that's how strongly he felt about
his
good, close, personal friend. Here's some of the other things Barack had to say.
Joe gets stuff done.
Oh, he does.
Joe helped me manage H1N1.
Pause.
And prevent the Ebola epidemic.
He helped him manage H1N1.
Oh, I remember. Don't you remember he was out front of that?
60 million people got H1N1. Good management on that, Joe and Barack. About 20,000 died. So that was a huge success, was it? Because I don't think so. All right, let's listen to it.
Manage H1N1 and prevent the Ebola epidemic from becoming the type of pandemic we're seeing now.
Right.
He helped me restore America's standing and leadership in the world on the other threats of our time, like nuclear proliferation and climate change. Joe has the character and the experience to guide us through one of our darkest times and heal us through a long recovery.
Wow.
And I know he'll surround himself with good people. Experts, scientists, military officials who actually know how to run the government and care about doing a good job running the government.
Jeez.
And know how to work with our allies.
And
our
allies.
Who will always put the American people's interests above their own.
Please.
Now, Joe will be a better candidate for having run the gauntlet of primaries and caucuses alongside one of the most impressive Democratic fields ever.
Wasn't it, though?
Each of our candidates were talented and decent, with a track record of accomplishment, smart ideas, and serious visions for the future. And that's certainly true of the candidate who made it farther than any other, Bernie Sanders. Bernie's an American original, a man who has devoted his life to giving voice to working people's hopes, dreams, and frustrations.
Yeah.
He and I haven't always agreed on everything.
No.
But we've always shared a conviction that we have to make America a fairer, more just, more equitable society. We both know that nothing is more powerful than millions of voices calling for change.
That's right.
And the ideas he's championed, the energy and enthusiasm he inspired, especially in young people, will be critical in moving America in a direction of progress and hope.
I mean, most of that was about Bernie Sanders.
Yeah. Please don't set fire to Milwaukee, is what he's saying there.
Yeah, let's placate the Bernie Bolsheviks if we can. Let's just throw him a little bone here and talk about how great he is. Oh, my. That's painful to listen to. That's crazy. And it should be embarrassing to him, but they've got no shame, so it isn't. But to say all of that stuff after you waited until the thing was over, and now, I'm for Joe. Okay. All righty.
Yeah.
Good decision.
Yeah, I mean, he talked for I think it's a 12-minute endorsement.
That's
and like
a long
you said,
time.
half of that was Bernie. But I don't know that.
Wow.
I don't know that the audience. I know I don't know that I can either. Stomach much more of Barack Obama. Have not missed him one bit.
No, you
you
forget a little bit.
Yeah,
But
he does go on to praise Biden and his story and all that crap. And,
I heard his story and how tender and touching it was, and how much he just loves Joe.
We don't have to play that, do we?
No, we don't.
Good.
Have to play that. No.
Yeah. So anyhow, there you go. Barack Obama out there in front for his friend in the 2020 campaign.
Going way out on a limb. Wow.
And it's a risky move for the de facto head of the Democratic Party to really latch onto a candidate and show his
at this early stage
partiality in what was, of course, as he says, the greatest Democratic field ever. He really put his stamp on it early.
What a stunner that was. Because I half expected him to endorse Donald Trump. Would that have surprised anybody? But no, he goes the other way and surprises all of us with a Democrat. And who's going to be who is the presumptive nominee? I guess you can't even call him the nominee yet because they haven't had their convention. But we all know he's the nominee.
And Joe did such a great job with that climate change, pulling back the heat that it's 33 degrees this morning on April 15th in Texas, here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex.
Yep. 33. A little chilly here.
Yeah, but
we never get this kind of weather in April. This is awesome, except for the fact that the warmth may or may not
we don't know
help
now.
Get rid of coronavirus. I don't think we're sure. But, if there's even a chance, bring on the 80s because I want this thing gone.
Yeah, we've got snow on the ground down here in Texas.
Where?
Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah, look at the map right here. See that? The snow coverage this morning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's been snowing in the Panhandle for the last few days. Got 2 inches there right now. But anyhow,
wow.
April 15th, the year 2020 is
weird year.
A curious time.
And it just gets more and more curious every day. But yeah, today should be the day that we file our taxes, but we don't have to now until July 15th.
Everybody gets a 3-month extension.
And checks might show up in your bank account today.
Oh yeah, let me check. Just take a little peek. See
$1,200, $2,000. I don't know. I don't know what they finally settled on.
It's $1,200.
It is 12.
And then I think it's $500 for each kid. Or
okay.
Whatever. Mm-hmm. So I will say the IRS has not come through for me.
Dang it!
Big shocker there. Of course.
There's still time.
Yeah.
Have you filed your taxes yet?
Yes, I did.
Because that's how they know to send it to you, right?
Well, if you didn't file them yet,
they used last year's
2018's.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And how do they direct deposit? Do you have to apply for this? No. How do they direct deposit your money if you haven't sent them your information, your banking routing number, and all that stuff?
Okay, so the IRS has that information.
Well, that's
when you
true.
File,
right?
And that's how they know.
That's true.
They are the IRS. Jeez. I will remind you.
Wow. And it's interesting to note that if you get a paper check, you get an actual check, a physical check from the government. Donald Trump signature is on it, which has never happened in the history of the country.
That's weird.
He insisted that his name be on the.
Of course he did.
On the check.
Okay.
He wants you to know where that's coming from. That's coming from his personal bank account. He's paying every American out of the goodness of his heart. So
he kind of
really
pulled
cool.
back on that total authority thing, by the way. He went back to saying the governors are, they can dictate as their local area.
Well,
so that was good to see.
Yes, because that you're not even. Hopefully, there's one thing you're not going to get support from all of your, Trumpites on is that the president has absolute total power. Mm-hmm. No, and it's interesting to note. The media bashing him for that, talking about how he's the emperor that has no clothes and trying to take complete control of our government when they continually place all the blame for everything on him. So on the one hand,
I know.
He doesn't have the authority. On the other hand, he's responsible for taking every action that should have happened on this coronavirus and otherwise.
And I thought you were going to go the route of the media, so consistent, because remember when Obama talked about having a pen and a phone, they were totally all over him, right? They just wouldn't let it go, right? Yeah, exactly. They didn't care at all. But I think that we fall into the trap, at least speaking for me, of instead of watching what he does, just reacting to what he says. Remember, that's something we've been over and over with, the last several years. Is that look at what he does as opposed to just what he says.
Yes. Makes for a much happier life.
It sure does. But it's very scary when he says stuff like that.
Very. All right. As parents, we want to encourage our children to pursue their dreams and provide opportunities for them that give them the best chance to succeed. I know when we homeschooled, we wanted to make sure our kids had a better education than they would have otherwise had in public school or private school. So online classes work extremely well, and especially when you go with the right online classes, like Laurel Springs, which is an accredited online private school for students in kindergarten through the 12th grade. Laurel Springs recognizes every child is unique, and they have their own personal interests and talents and unique learning style. Their flexible learning program offers challenging and diverse elective courses. Laurel Springs is also accredited, which is incredibly important. It's accredited by the Western Association of Schools and Colleges and Advance Ed, which means their transcripts are recognized by colleges and universities. That used to be a question we get all the time. Well, how are your kids going to get into college? Nah, we're going to sprinkle pixie dust and they'll just appear in there. And everybody will think that they they went to an accredited school. You don't have to worry about any of that with Laurel Springs. Register your child at laurelsprings.com/unleashed today and receive a waived registration fee. That's laurelsprings.com/unleashed.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Meanwhile, Dr. Anthony Fauci appeared to, again, throw cold water on President Trump's proposed reopening of parts of the United States on May 1st, calling it overly optimistic. We have to have something in place that is efficient, he said, and that we can rely on, and we're not there yet.
Yeah, besides, I mean, May 1st is a Friday. Who wants to go back to work on a Friday? Who's with
Right.
me? Let's extend it to Monday, May 4th.
So he described May 1st as a bit overly optimistic. If I had been able to just make a few comments and then go to work, that would have been really been much better. It isn't the idea of being there and answering questions, which I think is really important for the American public. It's the amount of time. Well, first of all, Anthony Fauci isn't the decider on this. He's not the one who makes that decision. That's going to be made by governors, by mayors, in conjunction with maybe some of them talking with and discussing this with the administration. But Anthony Fauci should just stick to the medical portion of this, and I think he'd be a lot better off. Just, do the thing that you know about. We'll let others worry about when the country reopens, because that's not his job. That's what the president is doing. Speaking of jobs people are doing, apparently Fredo doesn't like his gig at CNN. Check out what he had to say about his TV show while he was on the radio. I think he has a Sirius XM show.
I didn't know this. Yeah, so I guess he has his own
idea.
radio show.
Had no idea. But here's what he had to say about this.
I don't want to
CNN
spend
part.
my time doing things that I don't think are valuable enough to me personally.
Okay.
Like what? Well, I don't like what I do professionally, I've decided. I like doing this show. I like talking to you guys. But I don't value indulging irrationality, hyperpartisanship. I don't think it's worth my time. And I don't want some jackass, loser, fat tire biker to be able to pull over and get in my face and in my space.
Yeah.
And talk bull to me. I don't want to hear it. And just like you would, right? You're not going to tolerate that, right? Some cat just basically pulls up in the driveway next to yours and starts getting in your face about stuff. How's that going to go? How's that going to go, right? That matters to me more than making millions of dollars a year. That matters to me more.
Right.
Why? Because I've saved my money.
Oh.
Because he's good, man.
I don't like what I do professionally. I don't think it's worth my time. What a coincidence. We don't like what you do professionally either. I'd really love it if you'd stop doing it. And you've saved all that money, so what the heck? Go spend it. Wow. What an egomaniac. A loser biker, I guess, confronted him on Easter Sunday for being outside his property with his family. I don't want some jackass loser fat biker being able to pull over and get in my face and talk BS to me. I don't want to hear it. Okay. All right. Well, good. There was more that Fredo had to say.
because I don't want to spend my time trafficking in things that I think are ridiculous. I don't want to spend my time on television talking to Democrats about things that I don't really believe they mean. And I don't want to spend my time talking to Republicans about them parroting things that they feel they have to say. And analyzing a president who we all know is full of shit most of the time by design.
Good thing he's not hyper-partisan, though. That's a good thing. He doesn't like hyper-partisanship at all. Think he made that pretty clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then the next day, here's what Cuomo says about that. It's not true. I never said it. I never meant it. What? What do you mean you never said it?
That he didn't like his job. Okay.
I've never been in a better position professionally, he says, than I am right now. They've been so good. They've been so supportive of me in ways I never have imagined. I've never had a group of people professionally care about me the way they have shown. I'll never be able to repay them, but I'll try hard to do so. I've never been more grateful. I've never been on a better
sound
team.
grateful. Bruh.
Oh, come on. What he said, the first thing he said here that we just played for you, that came from a place that is right from the heart. Mm-hmm. He really doesn't like what he's doing. He wasn't kidding or exaggerating. He was telling you exactly how he felt.
Nah, it's the COVID drugs talking, man. That's what that was. He can't be responsible for that.
Then he realized, did I jeopardize my gig where I'm making millions? Maybe I don't have enough money saved.
Yeah.
And then he has to backtrack on it.
I think what it also shows is that
He's
nobody
despicable.
listens to the Chris Cuomo radio show since this news didn't break until late Tuesday afternoon, and he apparently said this on Monday.
Right.
So whatever
it took a
time
while
his show airs on Monday, it took that long for it to matriculate through the world until we found out about it yesterday late afternoon.
Well, I mean, if a tree falls in an empty forest, does it make any noise when nobody's around to hear it? So maybe that's what he meant by I never said it. Yeah, because nobody heard him actually say it when he did say it. So that could be what he's talking about. He is despicable. 888-900-3393 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. So when is enough going to be enough on our little quarantine experience here? Are we going to have sports in the fall? Some people are talking like we're not.
Whoa.
Driving me out of my mind.
Yeah, Chris Fowler is one of those voices now, joining his buddy Kirk Herbstreit.
Chris Fowler, too.
Got to stop this nonsense. These guys just don't want to work. Maybe they should switch places with Chris no, I don't want Chris Cuomo on college football.
Oh, no, thank you.
So now I'm stuck.
All right. Do we have the video of Chris Fowler, or is it just the story?
No, we do not. We just have some quotes there.
Well, he told Dan Patrick
disturbing.
that there are severe challenges to getting the 2020 season started as scheduled. Sure, we all hope that happens, but Fowler noted that we can't simply hope for an alternate reality. Fowler even mentioned the possibility of the season getting pushed to the spring, although he also noted through his comments there isn't much of a consensus among the vast network of athletic directors.
Good.
At least good on no consensus of pushing the season to the spring.
I mean, don't even utter that phrase, man.
Wow.
What is it with him and Herbstreit? These guys do not want to work.
Yeah, and it's what they do. It's their livelihood. Maybe they feel like Fredo does. Maybe they don't like what they do professionally. So the 2020 season would be February to May of 2021 under these circumstances.
I can't. Stop it. Stop. But yesterday, that was good. I think the most important part of the coronavirus daily presser was the president talking about he's assembling a big group of sports-minded individuals to talk about the best way to start the machines back up. I don't know if you want to play that very important clip. Let's play that.
In sports, we want to get our sports back. So importantly, these will be some separate calls. Some will be together by the wait lists, and some will be separate. Okay. But we have to get our sports back. I'm tired of watching baseball games that are 14 years old. But I haven't actually had too much time to watch
Yeah, bet.
I would say maybe I watch one batter and then I get back to work. The NBA, Adam Silver.
Okay, NBA.
The Major League Baseball.
Baseball.
We miss our baseball. This is baseball season right here.
Right.
Rob Manfred, thank you very much. NFL, Roger Goodell.
Okay,
Thank you, Roger.
And
UFC, Dana
hockey.
White.
Hockey.
Great Dana White. PGA, Jay Moynihan.
Okay. Hockey.
LPGA, Michael Wan.
No, hockey.
USTA, Patrick Galbraith.
What are you talking about? Hockey.
Major League Soccer,
What?
Don Garber. WWE.
No!
The
Hockey!
great Vince McMahon.
The great.
Mr.
NASCAR,
President.
Lisa
No.
Kennedy.
Hockey.
Thank you, Lisa. NHL, Gary Bettman.
There it is. Okay.
From the New England Patriots, Bob Kraft. Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. Dallas Mavericks, Mark Cuban.
Yeah, look at that.
So all the people that are on the sports council, trying to figure out when to get sports back.
I'd like to hear the conversation between him and Mark Cuban. So before we go, Mark.
What's this about you running for president? How about you, put that fire out right now?
But there's some good minds there that are a part of these phone calls, and I'm glad to see that there's progress of some sort, even if it's just a communication because President Trump wants to get things back to normal ASAP, and he's a very persuasive guy, so I'm hoping that these phone calls are helpful.
Well, yesterday we had our first home run of the 2020 season that counted. Didn't happen in the United States or Mexico or Canada.
We span the globe, Pat.
And found it in Taiwan. Here. Wow. I don't know why they're speaking gibberish, though. What was that about?
Now that I don't know. I was thinking the same thing. Like, all right, we got the baseball. It's in an empty stadium, but is this code? What is happening?
What are you doing, though? What is that? I don't even know what you said. It's embarrassing for you. So that was exciting action from Taiwanese baseball.
But see, look.
I'll take it.
As it progresses, right? Now it started in Asia, and look, we're starting back up. So let's go.
That's right. Things peaked in Asia in what? Late January, maybe?
Yeah.
And now they've been on the downside ever since. And so they're getting back to business as usual, slowly but surely, which is exactly what we should be doing and what more and more we are doing. Cuomo has gotten together with 5 other governors in the East, and they're all talking about how to get their region back to work. California's Governor Gavin Newsom is dealing with Oregon and Washington's governors, and they're talking about how they're going to restart that segment. In Texas, Greg Abbott was the first to say, we've got a plan, and we're going to start implementing it, getting Texas back to work.
Yeah, Texas doesn't have to confer with anyone else. Thank you very much.
That's right. We're our own entity.
What are we, the 9th largest economy in the world?
Somewhere in there.
So everybody's about to get a job, get their job back, right? I think Liberty Squared pointed that out yesterday with a tweet. Everyone about to get back to their jobs.
Soon enough, everyone will be hired again, except Colin Kaepernick.
And things will be back to normal. Yay!
Right. Don't you miss that discussion, though, right now? I mean, I'd take the Colin Kaepernick stuff over this COVID-19 stuff any day.
Any day. Yeah.
And twice on Sunday. 888-933-93. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up. And Chewing the Fat with Jeffy next. Get some tweets here at Pat Unleashed from Daniel Chappell. What? Joe doesn't punch above his weight? Well, at least Barack didn't mention it there. Alexandria Go, was Barack watching the same primaries as me? I didn't see one Democrat in that field of socialists. Shall not be infringed, tweets. I see a biker parade outside of Fredo's house happening soon, followed by a long-winded apology to the biker community. Kara 3022. Everyone loves the little insult Obama made to Trump voters by saying Biden will surround himself by people who actually know how to run the government. Think Trump has fixed your disaster. Great, Barry. It was Obama who was responsible for the PPE shortage. They had no masks because they used them all up in the H1N1.
Yeah.
And then never replenished the stock.
And they had the guy here in Metro Dallas saying, hey, how about a government contract? You can be stockpiled for the next pandemic. And the Obama administration, he got a nice letter from Obama, the guy says, but the government was not interested. And we're paying the price today.
Yep. Yeah, that happy sound means it's a sad time. Really?
Wait, why is it sad?
Because we've got to listen to Jeffy now. His nauseating voice.
He says that with love.
Of course.
I mean, I feel the love.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do.
Ooh, we better pull back.
So, how's it going? How are things?
Oh, it's great, going great.
Are you loving being home for every
Yes.
minute of every day for what, 6
Yes,
weeks now?
Looking forward to another, 8, 10, 12 weeks?
No, it's 18 months. 18 months is all we got to get through. Don't worry about it. Yeah, just another year and a half. That's all.
We can't. I mean, for real. We
Right.
cannot.
Oh, that can't happen.
Yeah, somebody just sent me this article about a mall in Metro Omaha, Lincoln, Nebraska area, saying, "Look, we've been closed long enough, so we're opening back up next week."
Wow.
So it's already starting.
Good.
Green shoots, if you will.
Yep.
I hope people go.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope they go. I'm really kind of bummed, though. I mean, I'm not as bummed as Joe Biden is for finally having Barack, come out and endorse it.
Oh, he's pissed.
But I know. Right.
He asked him not to, and Barack just ignored it. He just ignored it.
It's just like him. Just like
Sure
Barack
is.
doing that.
Always looking out for just himself, never considering the feelings of Joe Biden. All right.
This weekend, I was outbid at an auction, and really, I'm kind of bummed about it. Paul McCartney's handwritten lyrics
Yeah.
to "Hey Jude."
Oh, you were trying to get those?
I was outbid. Yeah, they sold for $910,000. So
what were you willing to pay?
Yeah, what was your bid?
909.
909.
Oh, shoot.
$9.09.
Like I
Yeah,
said,
and the bidding passed me by just a little bit because I was willing to go all the way up to $20 if need be.
$110,000.
That would be cool to have, wouldn't it? Can you imagine having the handwritten lyrics of "Hey Jude"?
They had 250 items of Beatles memorabilia because it's been 50 years since the breakup.
Yeah.
Celebrating. Oof.
Wow.
I mean, they auctioned off a drum head with the Beatles logo on it from their first North American tour.
Really
200
cool.
grand.
Oh.
200. A drawing from Lennon and Yoko called a Bagism, which is just great. I mean, it's because they termed the coin to satirize stereotyping, Bagism. That sold for $93,000.
Wow.
A bag.
Ringo Starr's ashtray that he used at the Abbey Road recording studios, 32 grand. I mean,
Wow.
Right? I know.
And who's getting who's getting the proceeds here? Do we know?
No, we do not.
Okay.
Of the auction company.
Yeah.
And last week we talked about China possibly making dogs illegal to eat.
Yeah.
But the wet markets are back in business.
Yeah.
And at the same time, scientists are saying they've discovered 6 new coronaviruses in bats.
Yay!
They're different than the COVID-19, but they're the same family.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe we stop eating bats. I don't know, just a thought.
It's a good safety tip, I think.
Not big on banning anything that we could possibly eat, really, but it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, is bat really that delicious that you can't give it up? You're just willing to put the world's safety on the line just so you can have a bat sandwich? Come on.
Bat too tasty.
I feel like the answer to that is no.
I do too. I feel like it. I mean, I've never tried bat, but I can't imagine that you couldn't live without it.
I mean, it's nothing like, camel hump. Deep fried camel
Especially when you fry it, because fried
yes.
camel hump is so good.
I'm partial to pangolin.
Requests and orders from the new world we're living in now. A Florida judge has one request for attorneys showing up for court hearings on Zoom.
Yeah.
He's requesting that the attorneys get out of bed and put some clothes on. So,
are they literally doing it in bed?
Yes. Whoa. He said it's remarkable how many attorneys appear inappropriately on camera.
Wow.
He said putting on a beach cover-up won't cover up your poolside. And one male lawyer appeared shirtless, and one female attorney appeared still in bed, still under the covers.
Wow.
So
wow.
I know.
Did you see the Supreme Court is going to take oral arguments for several cases in a few weeks by telephone for the first time ever?
Amazing. I mean, did I mention that I'm having a CTF virtual happy hour on Zoom this Friday? For real, this Friday, 6 p.m. Central, 7 a.m. Cambodia time. You can email me at chewingthefat at theblaze.com, and you can look for the link. I'll put it out on Twitter at JeffyJFR and Facebook and Instagram accounts Jeff Fisher Radio. But I most definitely am not like Judge Bailey from Florida. Clothing is optional for my virtual happy hour. So, I mean, and you know what? Come to think of it, that's true on my podcast while you're listening as well.
Huh.
Clothing optional.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's really generous of you.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Just subscribe to the podcast.
Now, do you dress up? Do you dress up for your podcast for Chewing the Fat?
Do I put clothes on? Yes.
Thank
Do I
you.
dress up?
Thank you for that, by the way. Please continue to do that. Nobody wants to be subjected to that.
Sure?
Probably not even Amber, So
But that's a fact.
No, probably.
I love to look at what we're buying too now during the pandemic. Doug McMillan, CEO of Walmart, was interviewed, and he talked about how panic shoppers in early March empty the shelves, of course, toilet paper and hand sanitizer, right? We knew that was completely gone.
Mm-hmm.
Then after 2 weeks of quarantine, we bought cooking and baking items. In particular, baking yeast sales grew more than any other consumer packaged good product in the last 2 weeks of March.
Yeast?
647% and 500% respectively in the same weeks. Yeah.
Wow.
If you look on Instagram, I mean, everybody was baking bread, right? That was part of their quarantine Instagram pictures. Everybody was baking bread.
Okay.
And now, remember we talked about how we're going to find out everybody's real hair color. Well, we're buying grooming supplies. Hair dye and trimmers are going off the shelves at Walmart. So with no salons and barbers, people are starting to freak out a little bit. Yeah. And a huge seller is, games and puzzles. And I don't have to tell you, Pat, the 136-year-old puzzle maker, Ravensburger, sold an average of 7 puzzles a minute in North America.
Oh.
That's huge.
Wow.
That's a lot of puzzles. You can quote me on that. That's a lot of puzzles.
That's a lot of puzzle.
That's a lot of puzzles, man. And this from Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars. Oh my, from space.com. Going on right now, this week, yesterday, today, and then tomorrow, you're going to be able to see Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars in the sky toward kind of lining up with the moon.
Yeah, I saw that this morning, actually.
Yeah, they're not going to appear together in the sky again for a bunch of years. And then later this month, we've got a meteor shower expected. Pre-dawn hours, April 22nd. And if that isn't exciting enough for space, a helicopter on Mars.
Helicopter on Mars. Yep.
Huh.
That's the hope. Anyway, if they succeed, it'll be the first time mankind has ever attempted a controlled flight on a planet other than Earth.
Really?
So, yeah, that's kind of cool.
That is very cool.
It's Mars Perseverance rover to the red planet between July 17th and August 5th. And it's in its final stages. And you can see the pictures now. The Mars helicopter is hooked up to the rover. And I know it's exciting. I was kind of hoping for maybe, I don't know, a Black Hawk instead of more of a drone from Best Buy. But, I get it. It's a helicopter. Plus, can we have just a little chat for just a second on space travel? We're not really ready for space travel yet. When we have to say that we're going to launch something between July 17th and August 5th, and we're still concerned about, well, the clouds are getting a little heavy and the wind is picked up 2 miles an hour, we're not going to be able to launch. That's a problem.
The Enterprise never had to worry about that.
Thank you. We need to just get in and go.
That's right. When
we can get in and go, now we're ready for space travel.
Speaking of space, though, have you seen the video of the moon where these unidentified flying objects come into view and you can see them against the backdrop of the moon and then they kind of disappear into the shadows?
Check this out.
Look at this. Watch this video. This is crazy. Okay, so there's the moon. Look in the, I think it's the lower portion of the bright part of the moon that these little objects are going to appear.
Hang on.
Haven't seen it yet.
Wait for it.
It's
Entering
coming.
from your right to left. They're right above the moon right now. See that? There they go. Now they're in front of it. See the shadows on the moon?
Yes, see that? Look at that. Okay, what is that?
Jeffy?
Could you see it?
Know. Unidentified flying object. No, I can't see it.
Okay.
I can see the picture.
It is.
I couldn't see the.
Oh, you're missing out.
I mean, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Of course,
Space Wars, right? I mean, that's what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, there are people who are visiting us here. Well, at least our moon. But every once in a while, they show up and abduct somebody and give them a space rectal exam.
I know.
So I think that most of the people that come from the other planets in the galaxy are proctologists. That's what I've come to decide. They're space proctologists.
That would explain a lot.
Yeah. And they just give us rectal probes when they show up. I don't know what they're so curious about. I don't know what they're trying to find. Maybe they're looking for colon cancer or something. I don't know.
Jeffy, any thoughts on the anal probing aliens?
The only thought I have is how come, I'm here. I'm waiting.
Okay. No, I mean,
stop in. And...
Even aliens are smart enough not to mess with you, man.
Yeah, they know that they don't know where that's been. They haven't watched us nearly enough. So,
hey, I've been thinking about you the last couple of days, Jeffy, because I saw that at ABC Nightly News with David Murr, whatever his name is. He's been that show has been leading all shows this for 5 days straight.
Yeah, the top shows in the country are all ABC World News Tonight with David Muir. 1 through 5 are ABC's broadcast. Now, how does that make you feel about your guy? What's his face over there?
What's going on at NBC? What's his problem?
He's getting his butt kicked.
I think the ratings are rigged. I think they're held up. I think they need to redo the count again. I want a recount. Dan, we have some sports news. I know you guys are, whining about your sports, and some sad, not so sad. I mean, we have Vince McMahon's XFL filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy.
Yeah,
that looks like it's over with.
Told you they wouldn't make it through the first season. I told you they wouldn't make it, and they didn't. And they didn't. It's not just because of the pandemic either. They're done. I mean, they furloughed their employees already. They let the star players try to get a deal with somebody in the NFL. I mean, that league is over already.
They said originally that they were going to pay the salaries of the players for the 2020 season, and then the Jeffrey Pollack, the CEO, said, "You know what? No."
Jeez.
Hey, no, we're going to pull that back.
Oh, that's crazy.
Did you see where the state of Florida has deemed the WWE
essential business? That's good news for Vince McMahon. And he was mentioned, the great Vince McMahon from President Trump, you heard earlier this hour.
We did hear that. Vince McMahon.
Essential business is the WWE in Florida. And they said they were asked for a quote. The spokesperson from the governor's office told ESPN that these services were characterized as essential because they are critical to Florida's economy. So
okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. Let me take 60 seconds and tell you about Brickhouse Nutrition. Now, Brickhouse is going to help you build a healthy immune system, which helps you fight all kinds of diseases. It doesn't matter what kind of crud is going around. When you take Field of Greens from Brickhouse Nutrition, you're going to fortify your body against all that stuff. One scoop has a full serving of real USDA certified organic fruits and vegetables. Boosts your energy, supports a healthy immune system. Doctors all agree a diet of fruits and vegetables can reduce your risk of heart disease. Plus, Field of Greens is pre and probiotic, a great source of vitamins and fiber, and all kinds of other nutrients as well. Just put a scoop of it into a glass of water, stir it up, so easy, drink it down, and you're all set. Right now, you can also save 15% off your first order when you use the offer code PAT at brickhousepat.com. Plus, if you subscribe while you're on the site, you'll save an extra 10% every month. This virus season, turn your immune system into a brick house with Field of Greens at brickhousepat.com.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
All right. What else you have, Jeff?
Yeah, a couple more sports stories. Tom Brady, smart or just being a big Richard, shall we say? His company has filed for 2 new trademark applications for Tampa Bay and Tampa Brady.
Oh, stop it. That's just stupid.
It's clothing and other merchandise. Now, apparently, Dan Patrick Show had been selling these Tampa Bay shirts. And so I don't know, that's just Brady saying, "Oh, that's a good idea, and they're making money off of me. I'm gonna trademark that."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, all right, thanks, Tom. Appreciate it. And Jim Harbaugh, head coach of the University of Michigan.
This I love.
I never really cared for him,
Yep.
but he's grown on me in the last week. He's had a heck of a career too.
Yeah.
He's not even done. I mean, he was the quarterback at Michigan. He went to the NFL. He played for 14 years in the NFL.
Played for the Bears and many other teams.
Coached the Super Bowl.
And then he coached for the University of San Diego, Stanford, the 49ers. Now he's back at Michigan. I mean, he's had a heck of a career.
And
so he was.
Say it.
And yes, he was being interviewed, and he was talking about his perspective as a Christian. He also talked about his and hatred for
you're breaking up a little bit there, so we'll get to that in a second, okay? Hopefully we'll get that fixed and ironed out. But we'll tell you what Jim Harbaugh had to say about abortion. I mean, this is a prominent sports figure who went out on a limb for real. We'll get to that next on Pat Gray Unleashed. 888-933-93 and at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. Let me take a minute and tell you about Patriot Mobile. Good announcement. It's a great announcement from our friends at Patriot Mobile to help Americans stay in touch with loved ones during this really tough time. They've reduced their prices even further. So right now, let their U.S.-based team design your customized family plan for only $25, $35, $45, or $55, depending on your needs. They'll never charge you hidden fees. Unlike Big Mobile, they don't send your hard-earned money to liberal causes, Planned Parenthood, gun-grabbing Democrats, none of that. You specify where you want the donations to go. That's because Patriot Mobile is the only one that supports the conservative values you believe in. It's really easy to switch, too. They take away all the hassle. You can keep your phone number. You can get a new one if you want to. You can keep your phone or buy a new one. Whatever, they'll accommodate you. 972-PATRIOT is the number. PatriotMobile.com to get your customized family plan today for just $25, $35, $45, or $55. PatriotMobile.com/Pat.
It's Pat Gray Unleashed on the Blaze.
All right, when you started to cut out right before the top of the hour, you were telling us about Jim Harbaugh, the coach at Michigan, and his stance on abortion.
Yeah, he was being interviewed for his coronavirus perspective as a Christian, and we from time to time we get a bunch of people in interviews on their perspective as a Christian, but usually they back it down when it comes to abortion, and it's really weird how that happens, but it does. But not Jim. He said, "People you see talking about the sanctity of life, I hope that can continue. I hope it continues and it's not just this time of crisis or pandemic." And lastly, abortion. We talk about sanctity of life, yet we live in a society that aborts babies. There can't be anything more horrendous.
I mean, that's great.
Yes.
That's amazing because, as you said, usually they shy away from that kind of
they
thing
back it down.
Yeah, they don't want anything to do with the backlash that comes from that. So that's pretty bold and brave of him to take that stand and just say, yes, I'm pro-life. I love that. Love it.
And there can't be anything more horrendous? Wow, okay.
Yeah.
You're right, Jim.
Yeah.
You're right.
He's right about that. 888-900-3393, also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. The Wuhan Health Organization tweets, "Here in Kansas, we've closed all the same businesses as everywhere else, yet traffic has not changed one iota. Not sure how that works." From Parts Guy 22, the handwritten lyrics to Hey Jude. You'd pay that much money for 25 pages of na-na-na-na, na-na-na-na, Hey Jude?
That's funny.
If I had billions of dollars, yeah, I think I probably would, because that would be cool to have.
Well, that's why I was at the 909. That was my cutoff.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, you got to know your amount going in.
Okay. Concerning the drone helicopter on Mars, Bronco Nagurski fan club tweets, "Are they going to turn the cameras off when the drone flies over the Mars slave colony?" Probably. Yeah, nice. Probably. From Compressed Wet Gas, If a vaccine is a weakened form of the virus and the virus came from a bat, does that mean we can be cured by eating a weakened bat? That is good logic right there.
That's good logic?
Good logic.
Oh, it's good logic.
Yes. Yes, it is. And American Pride tweets, it's too early in the morning to have Jeffy's face zoomed in that close.
Wow.
There you go. Isn't that fun, Jeffy? That's fun. That's just plain fun right there.
Ouch.
So what have you gone anywhere during these weeks, or do you just, because you're kind of high risk, and we all know that you've got, I don't know, 330 viruses all fighting themselves at the same time for supremacy in your body right now, as it is. Do you just stay home and let others go do the shopping, or are you going anywhere?
Pretty much. I did go. I did feel like, you know what, I got to get out. And my wife needed to get some gas in the car, so I said, I'm going. I'm just going to go get some gas. And I took my glove and I made sure I wiped down the card after I put it in the machine. But you're out there, and it's just there's more people out than you think, but it's not near what it used to be.
Right.
Not even close. So it's just strange being out.
Well, this morning, and granted, I came in a little later than usual this morning, but it seemed like there was pretty seriously increased traffic for some reason today.
It was really strange. I mean, I did go out yesterday too. I had an appointment that I had to go to, and there seems like there's more people out than you feel like there should be for some reason, but it's not even close to what it was. So, I guess we're, oh well.
In some locations, there are an awful lot of cars out, and they're lined up one after another. For instance, check this video of Los Angeles out. This is the Los Angeles Forum in Inglewood, and the cars are lined up to get food.
Wow.
That's where the LA Food Bank is. Look at this lineup of cars that stretches all the way around the building. And then let's go to the street nearby. Look at that.
No.
Look at that.
That's America. Look at that. Oh, my gosh.
If that doesn't make you sick to your stomach.
Look at that. The cameraman couldn't even pan far enough down the road to get the end of the line.
I mean, literally, as far as the eye can see, is a line of traffic waiting to get food.
And you know how these co-ops are having these farmers destroy, we talked about 25,000 gallons a day at one dairy farm of milk.
Send them to food banks.
That's what the farmers are saying. Can we just please send it here? So I think
they're trying.
They're working out something.
I mean, they're trying. The vegetable farmers in Florida are, if they're not, they're rotting and burying the vegetables because they give as much as they can, but their contracts were with, the hotels and restaurants,
schools,
and schools, and those are down. So I mean, they're trying to fill up as much as they can, and yet it still isn't enough.
Yeah, in some of these cities, Houston had it before I left Houston, where you cannot give food to homeless people.
Right.
That's ridiculous.
They don't allow you to because it might be harmful to them in some way. Because I don't know, there's too high a butterfat content or who knows what.
Well, starvation is a lot better route. Than
having
taking a risk of eating food from a stranger.
Yeah. Then you don't want a homeless person eating squash. You just don't want that.
Well, you certainly don't want them eating polyunsaturated fats. Okay. You don't want any of that.
Okay. What about kale? What about kale? Would you give them kale?
Well, yes.
Or is that cruel and unusual?
Yes, you can give them kale because that's inedible. So kale is fine.
So it's technically not food.
Right.
I see the
They're
loophole.
not going to eat the kale. So
I see the loophole.
It won't hurt them at all. It's just, I mean, it's nuts. Some of these stupid liberal rules, and then they just hurt the people that supposedly they're trying to help. It's really sad. Really, really sad. Because you're seeing this not just in Los Angeles. We just had footage of that in San Diego yesterday. It's happening all over the place right now. So the longer this thing goes on, the more you're risking people actually being malnourished or facing starvation.
Yeah.
It just can't keep going on
you do have
for much longer.
Some patheads who are saying that they checked their bank accounts and the IRS has deposited their stimulus check. Yeah, so be looking. That's supposed to start today. Yep.
Did you check your bank account yet, Jeffy?
I do not have to worry about my friends at the IRS giving me any money.
Don't you?
No.
All right.
The IRS and I are good friends. Good people at the IRS.
You're definitely on speaking terms, is what you're saying.
We are on speaking.
Yes. Every other week, you're on speaking terms with the IRS.
Well, I am not. There will be no check from them.
All right. I won't pursue that any further.
Would they, if you were in debt to the IRS, if you owed them money, I wonder if they would just credit your balance with this stimulus check. Be like, oh, you did owe us $5,000. Now you only owe us.
Yeah, I feel like I saw a headline too where some banks were doing that too, right? Where if you had owed them some sort of back payment, that they were just saying, "Ooh, that's money in your account that's free. We're taking that."
What?
I don't know if they can do that, right? I don't know if that's legal.
Probably. I mean, it's not America anymore, so they probably can do that. They can probably do whatever they want. I mean, we're talking about cops pulling you over and just confiscating cash that they find on you because it's illegal, I guess, now to carry cash in your car. And it's fine for the authorities to just take it from you.
I will say I've seen stories where the virus lives on cash more than it does on plastic. And we've always thought cash is probably on its way out at some point. It's just going to be replaced by a digital apparatus of some sort. So I wonder if this is going to be, so much is going to change in our society on the other side of this. And I wonder if that's going to be one of the casualties, cash.
It'll be interesting to see how many things change for good. I mean, just permanently change. Things that we don't think are going to be permanent that actually become permanent. For instance, will NASCAR racing now just be iRacing? Will they just race on simulators at their house? It's safer. Nobody gets hurt that way. You get a 30-car pileup on the track, and nobody's been hurt. So it's really kind of cool. Plus, a lot of people are watching, so maybe that's the way to go. That is a fact, though, that NASCAR star Kyle Larson forgot about as they were racing this race over the weekend. He forgot that there were a lot of people watching and listening, and he forgot that everything he said could be heard by everybody else. And apparently, at one point in this race where they're racing their simulated cars, he went to check his microphone and said, so you can't hear me? N-word?
Yeah, do you want that audio?
Oh, boy. Yeah, let's, we bleeped it, right?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
I can see it. You can't hear me? Hey,
oh, boy.
wow, big.
Okay, that wasn't the first time that Kyle said that. But one of the other drivers said, Kyle, you know that you're talking to everyone, bud. You know we all heard that, right?
Yeah, that's what the guy was starting to say there at the end of the clip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he was immediately in trouble, obviously, and decided to give an apology. He said, last night I made a mistake and said the word that should never, ever be said, and there's no excuse for that. That wasn't the first time he's said it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I have his apology. I don't know if you want it.
I understand. Oh, we do have him saying it? All right, let's see it. Hear it.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm sorry. Last night I made a mistake and said the word that should never, ever be said. And, there's no excuse for that. I wasn't raised that way. It's just an awful thing to say. And I feel very sorry for my family, my friends, my partners, the NASCAR community, and especially the African-American community. I understand the damage is probably unrepairable, and, I own up to that. But I just wanted to let you all know how sorry I am. And, I hope everybody is staying safe during these crazy times. Thank you.
We accept your apology, and you're fired. That's basically what happened. Yeah, all's forgiven. You're fired.
Yeah, Rob, who is down the hall there, he is a big NASCAR fan. He says this guy, Kyle Larson, was going to be a big free agent. So he was going to make some big money after this season. And now he doesn't have a job at all.
Holy cow. Jeez. I mean, in this atmosphere, you just can't say. He might have been saying that to a white person, too. I don't know. But regardless of who he said it to, That word just can't be uttered by anybody, anytime, anywhere, unless you're a rapper.
Yep.
And then it's okay. But that's the standard that exists, and everybody knows it, so he should have known better. It's too bad that you don't get a second chance on that. And we don't just, slap him on the wrist and say, okay, don't do that again. Nope, he's done.
Right.
Wow.
It is kind of sad that we're just cutting his livelihood off.
Yeah, it is.
I get it. It's horrible, but okay.
Mm-hmm. It used to be, though, there used to be a saying, and nobody says it anymore. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. It's just the opposite of that.
You kind of touched on it there. Maybe he could become a rap artist.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
That's what he should have. That's his apology, right? I'm sorry I didn't let everyone know that I was becoming a NASCAR rapper.
I was singing a song. There's a fun rap song that I really like, and I was just singing it while I drove.
Yeah, I wasn't really asking about my microphone. I knew everybody could hear me. Well, you thought that was an actual question?
Oh, silly.
Those are just my rap lyrics.
No,
That's all.
see, my microphone wasn't working, and it only worked at that one spot in the song that I was singing.
Yeah.
No?
No.
No, okay.
All right, we got some tweets here at Pat Unleashed from Sabes84. Wait, I just heard Pat say during a Rough Greens commercial. This came in after the show yesterday.
Yeah, after it was on Glenn's show. I heard it as well. When you guys were doing a Rough Greens ad out there, you left us hanging.
Just heard me say that my dog just gobbles that stuff.
Mm-hmm. We didn't hear.
Not up, not down, just gobbles. Now I'm really confused. To which Cynical Squirrel replied, it's physically impossible to simply gobble. It must be directional, or it goes nowhere. The science is settled. I guess there's consensus, huh? Uh-huh. Then Jeffy's 18 Spoons chimed in. I think in the absence of an up or down gobble, it's to be assumed that the food was just gobbled sideways or through osmosis. Glad to see such analysis went
we gotta know
into that commercial.
We gotta know how was the food enjoyed by your puppy.
Well, my dog with Rough Greens, she gobbles it up. Okay, she gobbles it up.
There you go. There's your definitive answer.
Right, and it's good because there's all kinds of probiotics in this supplement. Because it's not Rough Greens isn't actual food; it's just a supplement that you put on the food, and she loves it. Stu's dog loves it. Glenn's dog loves it. So there is consensus in the doggy world that this stuff is delicious. Has probiotics, enzymes, vitamins, healthy microbacteria. All your dog needs to know is it tastes good. They love it. So if you want your dog to get back to its puppy-like form, this is the way to do it. Rough Greens VitaSmart. It'll make your dog's food better. Take the Rough Greens 14-day Jumpstart Challenge, just $14.95, and you'll see a difference in your dog in 14 days or less. If you want to see your dog thrive again, get really active and puppy-like again, go to roughgreens.com/blaze. That's RUFF greens.com/blaze. This is Pat Gray. Well, I mean, some people call me the Maurice. Others, the gangster of love. But whatever, I just continue to speak of the pompatus of love. That's what I do. That's who I am. I can't help it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you. We got some tweets here at Pat Unleashed. Gunny A about the food lines. That line of cars should make Bernie proud. He's an American, right? Because they're all in a food line. So, yeah. And food lines are good.
That means there's food.
Reflux capacitor. Okay, yeah.
It's like a Back to the Future reference, like flux capacitor. It's reflux capacitor.
That's cute.
I think so too.
It's my opinion that the reason we're seeing an increase in traffic may be due to the fact that citizens have received their stimulus. I have one of my employees that told me on Monday that he received his. Yeah, people are starting to get them. They're rolling in. Mustang Vet tweets, the IRS is keeping money owed by parents who are behind on child support payments, which is interesting since that's a state level issue. So why are the feds getting involved?
Well, then.
Interesting question. Got this tweet from Kristen. little picture with Barack and Joe. I'm endorsing you, Joe. Joe leans over and says, "For what?"
Dude, you're running for president. You don't remember that?
Where are my shoes?
That's very accurate.
That's funny. Now
That's funny. Yeah.
that's funny. I don't care who you are. Also, people are starting to get a little bit sick of the sheltering in place, the stay-at-home orders. You can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. And there's a little bit of pushback. Brits are pushing back a little bit. Here's a guy on a motorcycle.
Yeah, watch this. He's riding through
versus a cop on a bike.
He's trying to say, look, you're violating the lockdown. Listen to him. He's trying to chase him down on a bicycle, and the motorbike guy is just mocking him mercilessly.
Swearing at him, too.
You nearly got there. You can do it. You nearly got there.
So close. You're so far. Come on, kid.
So the guy's alone on his bike in a giant field or park. What's he doing wrong?
Right.
Come on, lad. Come on.
Only thing is just the park is closed, right?
Is it?
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
It could be. It's funny. Oh boy.
Anyway, there you go. So I'm telling you, man, people aren't taking this. It's gonna unravel. So we can have this argument as to if we're ready to open our economies or not.
Mm-hmm.
People are just gonna open their economies. Period.
The people are ready.
Mm-hmm.
At least 15,000 cars and trucks are expected to descend today on Michigan state capitol. 15,000 to protest what they're calling Governor Gretchen Whitmer's tyrannical new guidelines to slow the spread of the virus. The drive-by demonstration, in order to maintain social distancing, they're still doing that, aims to bring traffic to a gridlock in Lansing and protest the stay home, stay safe executive order by Whitmer that mandated that what businesses could do things at home, what businesses had to close. Some businesses could sell and some couldn't. Ugh. Quarantine is when you restrict movement of sick people. Tyranny is when you restrict the movement of healthy people, according to Michonne Maddock, an organizer of the protest. I mean, that's a pretty good definition. I like that.
Yeah.
Every person has learned a harsh lesson about social distancing. We don't need a nanny state to tell people to be careful. Right. It's like Governor Noem said in South Dakota. There is personal responsibility. Let the people decide what they're going to do with their own health and safety. Well, other people are involved, though. Other people are involved with their bad decisions. Okay, well, that's the case no matter what we're doing. And so if you're going to just try to prevent everything from happening to everybody, we're going to live in a very, very different society, even after this thing is over. Because they are taking advantage of this thing.
Exactly.
And they are usurping power that they've got no right to.
Never let a crisis go to waste.
But they'll give it back. They're not going to keep it.
Totally.
Good point, Jeffy, because they always do, right? They always do.
Always.
See, you want to know when things are back to normal in your town, just at rush hour, check the traffic map. And when things start getting orange and then red, you'll know, oh, I guess everyone's going back to work now. Right now in Dallas-Fort Worth, everywhere is green. So I guess we're not quite back to it. Just as soon as I-35 South, can I get an amen, turns red again, we'll know things are back to normal around here.
Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. What you said.
Yeah. I-35 South, man. That is...
I-35E or I-35W?
I-35W South.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. I mean, we're going to go inside baseball.
888-900-3393. Pat Gray Unleashed, where Putin under Ritz tweets, Pat makes the Rough Greens commercial sound like a hostage situation. If you want to see your dog healthy and happy again, you'll do everything I tell you to do. I mean, that's just reality. That's not a hostage situation, you know.
It's motivation to buy that product.
Kara 3022. So Ramadan begins next Thursday, April 23rd, and I'm curious, will governors issue $500 tickets for any of the numerous prayer times or throw nails onto the mosque parking lots? Legitimate questions, I think. Wow. I think of that. If somebody were to throw nails into all the entranceways at a mosque, like they did at the church over the weekend in, was it Kentucky? I think it was the Kentucky church or Michigan, one of the two. But that would have been a hate crime if it had happened at a mosque. That'd be a hate crime, and they'd be hunting down the person responsible. Nobody cares in the other situation, doing it at a church. Amazing. Graphics, TWR tweets, okay, it's been a month now with hardly any toilet paper in local stores. This goes beyond hoarding. Now it's starting to smell like a conspiracy, among other things. What is the deal with the toilet paper? Why did that happen?
I don't know, but I think a lot of brand loyalty is going to change after this. It's going to be whoever you end up finding in the store on the shelves is going to be your brand of choice now. Whichever brand, that's they were there when I needed them.
I don't care if it's single ply. I'm getting it. If I find single ply toilet paper on the store shelf, I'm snapping that up.
We're not in caveman days.
Thank you.
We almost are, actually, because I haven't seen it in the store for, a month. Easily a month or more.
How desperate are you? You need me to bring you some?
We're not as desperate as we will be in about another month, probably. We've probably had 2 or 3 months worth.
Because, see, I know a guy. Okay, I got a guy.
Oh, you do?
This is a Jeffy story, okay? Mm-hmm. And he ordered toilet paper for his business it's like some industrial strength toilet paper. It's apparently not comfortable at all. It's nasty. And he's like, please, I want to give this away.
Really?
So if you're that desperate and you want sandpaper on your bum,
I might be.
I can hook you up.
All right.
Now,
I mean, if he's giving it away, we should take it because then we could sell it on the other side.
Whoa.
Well, when the authorities find out that we have it, though, they'll come and confiscate it and give it to whoever they want to. Like they did to that poor guy with the hand sanitizer. That's amazing. 17,000 containers of hand sanitizer they just took from him. They just confiscated it.
Let's took it.
Yep. And but if you do want to be neighborly, and you do want to respect social distancing, maybe you employ a drone that could deliver toilet paper to your neighbor, the way is happening in Florida right now. I mean, that's doing it right. You see, you got your neighbor over there is in desperate need across the pond, and you don't want to get within 6 feet or 2 meters or whatever it is. And so this guy just flew some toilet paper over to his neighbor via drone. And look at that! How nice of that! What a kind neighbor. Now, isn't that what we want?
Is cool.
I want that from Amazon.
That's what I was going to say. That's what we've been waiting for from Amazon.
That's cool. Wow. All right. Can we talk about something other than COVID-19 and quarantines? I found this list that I think is fun from Lifestyle magazine, the 30 richest rock stars of all time.
Oh.
At number 30, I would have thought he was much higher up the chart. Freddie Mercury from Queen at $60 million when he died. He was worth $60 million. Of course, that was what? He's been dead for 30 years, I think.
What did he die? 89 or so?
90, 91-ish.
Okay, so 60 million, you said?
Yeah. What would that be in today's? That's what you're looking up, right?
I'll get back to you. Yes, sir.
All right. Mm-hmm. So at 30, Freddie Mercury. At number 29, another surprise to me, Kid Rock, $80 million. I would never guess Kid Rock is one of the richest rock stars of all time. John Paul Jones, the Led Zeppelin bass guitarist, worth $80 million. Wow. At number 27, another one I'd never guess, Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam, worth $90 million.
Wow. By the way, $60 million back when Freddie Mercury died, worth just about $120 million today.
Wow.
Double?
Yeah, that's really something. Oof. In 30 years. Think of that. Number 26, Jailbird Phil Spector. Jailbird murderer, by the way. Convicted murderer. Killed actress Lana Clarkson in 2008 or 9, somewhere in there. Allegedly. Of course, he was convicted for it, so I guess you can drop the allegedly. Right. It's not alleged anymore.
Yes.
At number 25, Malcolm Young from AC/DC. $100 million.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Also from Queen, John Deacon, the bass guitarist, $115 million. At number 23, Paul Stanley from Kiss, worth $150 million. It's interesting because you don't see Kiss a lot, so you don't think about them being worth that kind of money now. But the residuals and the album sales just continue and never stop. That's pretty sweet business right there. Courtney Love is the 22nd richest rock star of all time.
Well, gee, I wonder how she got there.
I don't know that we consider her a rock star.
Well, she's from the fabulous band Hole.
Yeah, but she's probably got the cash when Kurt Cobain offed himself.
That's possible. $150 million. $150 million. Yes, Kurt's things like the guitar and notes and all of that stuff are in her possession with Kurt's other stuff valued at $120. Yeah, so yes, that is in large part due to Kurt Cobain.
Makes sense.
Lars Ulrich from Metallica, $200 million drummer. Wow. Now this stuns me. Number 20, Sean Lennon. That's got to be all his dad's money, right? Sean Lennon?
Gotta be.
They describe Sean Lennon as a great musician, actor, singer, and guitarist.
Okay.
I don't. Okay. How many Sean Lennon concerts have you been to lately?
I mean, look, we can make fun of him and laugh all we want, but boy, that's a sweet life right there to just inherit all that money and do whatever you want to do.
Yep, absolutely. Ozzy Osbourne, number 19 on the list at $220 million. Phew. Rod Stewart, $235 million. Eric Clapton, only 17th on the list. I would have thought he was higher. I mean, so many bands from Blind Faith, Cream, Yardbirds, Derek and the Dominoes, his solo career, he's worth $250 million, Eric Clapton. And he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame 3 times to Foreigner's 0. So let's not forget that either.
That's got to hurt a little.
A little bit, yeah. Phil Collins, worth $255 million. In the 80s, Phil Collins was so obnoxious to me, I vomited every time I heard his name. You didn't have to play his music.
No, that's true.
And over.
But I listened to it over and over.
Oof. Bon Jovi, $275 million, checking in at number 15 on the list.
Number 15.
Pink Floyd's Roger Waters, who's virtually a communist.
Yeah.
And a really nasty
Why is he on this
guy.
list? He hasn't given all his cash away?
I guess not.
What's
No,
his
he's
total?
still got $270 million of it.
Well, let's get going.
Isn't it? Isn't it funny how that happens?
Yeah, sure is.
At number 13 on the list, formerly of the Police, Sting.
Dang.
$300 million. Number 12, Keith Richards, also $300 million of wealth. Adam Clayton from U2.
Yes, sir. Bass player.
$340 million.
Uh-huh.
The Edge, also
guitarist.
$340 million from U2.
All right, Larry Mullen.
Gene Simmons sneaks in at number 9, $350 million. Ringo Starr, number 8, $350 million. Mick Jagger checks in at number 7, $360 million.
Not bad.
For Mick. Not bad. That's, you're not necessarily wondering where your next meal is coming from.
He's not number 1, though.
No, he's not. But neither is he in one of those food lines in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Can
we? Will you allow Jeffy and I to guess number 1 when we get up there? Yeah.
Okay. I will.
Oh, I don't know.
Number 6, Elton John, $450 million. Jeez, $450 million. Coldplay, the whole band, at $475 million.
Wait, divided
Coldplay,
by 4? Or
that
what?
blows me away. They just list Coldplay.
That's weird. Because why wouldn't they say you too?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a good question. That's a good question. So I didn't know Coldplay was initially called Starfish, and then Pectorals before becoming.
They didn't go with pectorals?
No, they didn't. They decided they landed on Coldplay.
I was a huge fan of Starfish. Man. Woof.
Oh, well, who wasn't? Back in the day, man.
Back in the day.
I could not get enough of Starfish.
At $500 million, $500 million, Bruce Springsteen is number 4.
Jeez, that hurts.
You're right, man.
Doesn't it?
You're so right.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jimmy Buffett, because of all the parrot head things. I mean, his concerts, he's like the Grateful Dead. People just go follow him all over the world and go to all of his concerts for some reason. I don't get that whole thing, but a lot of people love him. $600 million worth at number 3.
So I've got a guess of the final 3, but I don't want to ruin anything.
All right, and number 2, who do you think it is?
I thought we already did number 3?
Number 3 was Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, shoot.
Buffett, yeah.
Well, I was thinking somewhere between Celine Dion, Bono, and Garth Brooks was going to be the top 3.
Bono is number 2.
Okay.
$700 million.
Wow. I need to become friends with him.
$700 million. No wonder he loves capitalism.
Billy Joel's not on that list.
I'm really surprised he's not in the top 30. Yeah, that blows me away. Because at number 1, any guesses?
Garth Brooks.
Garth Brooks. Jeffy?
I would guess some dingleberry like Celine Dion or something's on there. But
Connells.
these are rock stars.
The Connells, number 1, richest band of all time. No.
You're missing the most obvious person in the world. Paul McCartney.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. I
Paul
thought of him earlier. Yeah.
McCartney, $1.2 billion.
Didn't he scribble some words down paper that Jeffy almost owned?
Yeah.
I was just outbid.
I mean, you're right there. You had 909,000. Is that
Well,
what it was?
909 was my cutoff.
Yeah,
mark.
and
910,000 was what was.
Yeah, the
final bid.
lyrics went for 910,000. Hey Jude, so close.
Are those the lyrics with "Hey Jules"? Do you know? Did you see?
I don't know.
Did you see the actual? Because that's what it initially was. He was gonna, because it was for Julian Lennon,
right?
And they called him Jules, and they decided that didn't sound very good in the context of the song, so they changed it to Jude. So it'd be interesting to know if it says Jules or Jude. Can you see on that paper?
Yeah, it says Jude.
It's Jude?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Too bad.
So those are false.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't win. I mean, then you would have been so angry. You would have said, "Where's my receipt for this thing? Garbage."
Because that can't be the original.
Right.
All right. Let me take 60 seconds and tell you about a new sponsor that I really love, Omega XL. We just had a great call with Dr. McQuillan about Omega XL. This stuff they do it right. Omega XL works on the inflammation in your body. And inflammation is likely the root cause of back, neck, shoulder, leg pain. I've got this pain that has developed in my elbow over the last, month or two. And I knew it was from inflammation, and it goes all the way down my arm. And so I started taking Omega XL about a week ago. Now, they said, give it 2 weeks before it really starts to kick in and starts working in your body. You build it up a little bit. Already, though, after 1 week, I'm starting to get relief.
Oh, that's good.
In that elbow joint. It's fantastic. So if you're suffering from some kind of inflammation, achy, painful joints caused by arthritis or whatever, then you need to try Omega XL. Left untreated, inflammation can cause permanent damage, actually. Pain relievers and topical creams, they don't treat the problem, they just mask it. Omega XL goes right to the inflammation and calms it down. It's backed by 30 years of research. It's a powerful natural supplement that reduces pain due to inflammation while promoting healthy joints and increased mobility. There's really nothing like it in the world. I love this stuff. And when you take these, they're little teeny tiny pills that are so easy to swallow, you probably wouldn't even need water. Really easy little gel caplets. And so you take them, a couple of those a day, and you're going to see a world of difference. It's a special offer to get you started. Order now. Get your second bottle free. Visit omegaxl.com/Pat. That's omegaxl.com/Pat.
Pat Gray, Unleashed.
Yeah. Do you realize that there's still 14 movie theaters open across the U.S.?
Oh, a whole 14.
Oh, yeah, we still got plenty of entertainment going on.
Is the government aware?
I don't know, but I'm going to tell them about it. As soon as we're done with the show, I'm calling the president to let his task force know to clamp down on these people and maybe send a SWAT team in to get these shut down.
I guarantee you they're not in Kentucky.
No, they're not. 14 theaters, 13 of which are drive-in theaters. I'd like to know the one movie theater that you go into that is still open.
Jeffy?
One of those little downtown, out-of-the-way joints, maybe?
Plenty of my theaters over the years. There's been social distancing in those theaters for years, man.
You stay on your side of the room.
Yeah.
So drive-ins.
Drive-ins. When was the last time you went to a drive-in? Man, it's been...
there's a good one. And Jeffy, I think you're familiar with this. There's a Coyote. What is it place here? There's a couple of them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's open here?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we saw, my family and I saw the Lego movie, like the first one there. I don't know, like
at a drive-in.
5, 6, 7 years ago. Yeah. It's down
Cool.
It's down in Fort Worth. There's another one up north. But they're really nice. I like them. Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, I haven't been to a drive-in since I was a teenager.
Yeah, they're bringing them back.
So that's been over 10 years.
That's a weird sniff. You getting the COVID over there? You got the sniffles?
Yeah,
What's
I might be developing it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it has been over 10 years. That was a true
Is
statement.
anyone going though? I mean, they may be going to the drive-in theaters, but like you have one theater that's actually open where we see movies. But is anyone actually going?
I wouldn't. I'll tell you right now, I would not go to a movie theater.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I don't care.
Did you see the woman who has been in her house and has gone nowhere for 3 weeks and just got COVID-19?
Whoa!
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. You know how she got it?
Oh, no.
She had food delivered to her house and went out and touched the bag it was delivered in.
Oh, no.
And bang! She's got it. That is crazy.
By the way, I hate to pull it back the other direction here, but I just remembered something I heard this morning driving in. Cinemark, 17,500 layoffs.
Oh,
$42 million
really?
dividend suspension, $20 million tax refund. I don't know. So they're trying desperately to stay afloat. And that's a big theater company, especially around here in Dallas.
It's one of the biggest in the country.
Yeah.
With AMC, it's for sure top 3.
Yeah, they're selling $250 million in debt securities. They're trying to stay solvent right now.
Man.
And, you think about, like, this company, what they're going through, and we talked about how the food lines, and it's nobody in that line, it's not their fault, but it just shows you how we went from the greatest economy ever to bread lines literally overnight. It just shows the margin is so thin. We don't have anything saved,
right?
Whether as individuals or as a company. But boy, that lady getting the COVID-19.
How pissed would you be?
By
been
following the
sheltering
rules
all this time
for what?
And I got it anyway.
Oh man,
it's nuts.
That is bad.
She said she goes out to the mail every day and picks up her mail, but she wears gloves. But the one time that somebody brought food to her, she forgot to wear the gloves, and she got COVID-19 from the delivery.
See,
that's
my luck.
I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds?
That's bad.
888-900-3393. Somebody was saying, though, I'm looking for, here it is right here. The unemployment surge will be temporary, according to Moody's.
Okay.
So, this is a little silver lining. Obviously, we've had a staggering spike in layoffs, and we just talked about Cinemark maybe furloughing 17,500 people. But this effect should be short-lived, according to the ratings agency Moody's. Unlike in previous recessions, where the impact on the labor market took some time to materialize, workers are the first to get hit this time around. But with the layoffs expected to be temporary, jobs will return as soon as the countrywide sheltering in place ends.
All right. Let's hope, right?
I like the sound of that.
And so you would have people like our leaders, like maybe, I'm just throwing out a name here, Nancy Pelosi would probably be eager for us to get back going, get rocking, get the economy going back, fired back up again, right? Nancy Pelosi?
Either that or she could be warning that Trump should not be restarting the economy. Of course, they don't want that.
Nope.
They love what's happened here.
Especially in an election year, they don't want any time to rebound before November.
The longer this goes, the happier they are.
And she's saying stuff like, "Oh, nope, we're not even going to have the House in session this month." Oh, okay.
Well, that's good. Thank you for
that's
that.
That's actually a good thing.
Why don't you take the rest of the year off, Nance? That would be really great, actually.
Yeah.
She's drafting right now, though, a fourth coronavirus relief package.
Oh, that's good because we're already pushing $4 trillion in debt this year without that package, which could be how much more? I think they said $500 billion more coming.
You know what the biggest debt year has been leading up until now? You know what the largest deficit we had?
Like ratio?
18.
Yeah, like running a year. It was 18. Thank you, Jeffy.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
18.
I didn't mean to break it so easy. I'm sorry.
Was it in World War II or something? Or?
No, it's been fairly recent. We were 1.4 trillion in debt for the year. We're already 4 trillion in debt for the year.
Yeah, during the Great Recession when we were doing all the bailouts and stuff,
numbers.
1.4 trillion.
Yep.
And now we're 4. I mean, they're so close, those numbers.
About the numbers, stop it.
I know. I get a kick out of these people who say, how are you going to pay for it? And I always tell them, I always say, you just do. You just do. What do you mean, how are you going to pay for it? Don't bother me with trifles like that. What are you talking about?
Like, whatever.
Right, exactly. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you guys heard the weird myth in the black community that people are saying is so dangerous? And this is one of the reasons why apparently in the black community they're getting sick at a much faster pace than other races. It's apparently because there's been a rumor going around that blacks are immune to COVID-19.
What?
That they can't get it.
I have not heard that.
Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot said that officials are trying to combat this myth in the African American community that blacks are immune to coronavirus because it's contributing to racial death disparities. Lightfoot made the comments with Rachel Maddow. She said that blacks are suffering alarmingly high rates of death from coronavirus and attributed that to underlying health disparities and also the myth of immunity.
Wow.
We know that, for example, the rate of diabetes, heart disease, upper respiratory illnesses, all of those things are exponentially, or is it exponentially?
Increasing exponentially.
Right, it is. It's exponential, according to the Democrat nominee.
Oh, did you hear? Barack Obama went out on a limb and endorsed that guy, Joe Biden.
I did hear that. I was so shocked. I couldn't even stand.
Shocking,
I couldn't
right?
even stand up. That was so shocking. Especially since Joe practically begged him not to.
Right.
You know?
No respect.
No, Barack, I don't want your endorsement. I'm going to give it to you anyway. And he did.
He did.
And he did, the bastard. Couldn't be stopped. That's how much he loves Joe. He just could not be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Jeffy.
Love to.
Enjoy your quarantine. And we'll talk to you on Friday.
How many squares we got on Pat Gray Bingo, by the way, Rob?
Seven.
Seven.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.